This is your brain. And this
is your brain on top.
What's poppin', party people? It's me. Hi. Tom is back. How's it going? Been about a week. I took about a week to try to figure out mixer stuff, and I don't know. I don't have the stuff to clean it, so like I'm switching cables. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, not a bunch of static and weirdness from last episode, but we are here. I was gonna maybe just take another one and actually go and find, because like actually proper cleaning equipment that I think I've talked about on the show before, and it's never actually gone. So I could go and get that, but I don't have the money to do that right now. So it's like I don't know what to do. So we're gonna try small things that I can do for free. So hopefully this cable, which is the old one, I forgot why I switched it, but I switched it for some reason, and it sounds clearer than the other one. I don't know. But I digress. How's everyone going? How's it going? What's going on in your goings on? There it is. Yeah. A lot has happened. A lot. The big one, the big daddy of it all, was last weekend. So I'm like a week late on that, but it happens. I have places to be too. I'm a busy bee. I do things. Not really. Well, kind of. Actually, lately I have, but it's like job stuff. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Evo. So Evo happened, which is dope. All sorts of cool fighting games. If you don't know, it's the large premier fighting game tournament in the world, I guess. A lot of international people come to this, so I guess it's the world one. They just started a Japanese one, which is slightly different, because it showcases more Japanese games. Like I don't know if they have like any NetherRealms representation over there. I don't think so. But like that one's weird because like it's in Japan, so like salarymen who are like, oh, I didn't know about the other one, but this takes place on my break, I guess I'll show up, and then they just start fucking tossing kids. So like it's weird. It's like the pacing of things can be a little bit different. So like weirder games like Guilty Gear, which has a very Japanese dominated scene, will have more things like that happening. Where like Street Fighter, we all kind of know who the big players are, just because like it's been around for so long, and like the support to be kind of professional in a way has been there, so we kind of understand who in every region is kind of like the big scary one. But yeah, there's a lot of like in like the weirder games that have been around forever, have always had a very passionate scene in Japan, like a Guilty Gear, BlazBlue. They always have like that. And like the cool thing too, actually, for everyone involved with that, those Arxis games, they're having their own like Capcom Cup, where it's like you go, like they'll have various events in different regions, and then they'll have like a big one in California. So that's kind of cool. So we might actually see more of that, where it's like I think they have like 1 and 2 in Japan, or I think they had 2 in Japan, they had like 1 like Singapore, they had 1 like China, something like that. So like they'll have like a little bit more of an Asian representation of like the weird, the places you don't normally see pop up in a lot of these things. So it'd be kind of cool to like see if anyone from there ends up getting like winning and coming over to America or something like that. We see them do that thing. But games I ended up watching was of course the Arxis ones. Well, I didn't watch Cross Tag Battle because I don't care for it at all. I don't know why it exists. It's kind of a weird thing. I think it's cool that a little web creator of Rooster Teeth got Ruby in there. I think that's kind of cool, but otherwise I don't care. Yeah, and I guess it's the one Persona game of this year, but again, I don't care that much. Or Persona Fighter. But I did watch Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear is always fun. And like it's more fun for me to watch the ones where I don't know who's winning, especially in like pools, because like when I'm watching like Melee, they pretty much just put one top player on, and then people run their pools through them. So you just watch this one guy just eviscerate everyone that walks up on stage. So it's kind of boring to be like, well, Leffen's gonna fucking murder this kid, and I'm just gonna watch him just absolutely demolish this little boy. Like, no, I'm not gonna do this. So I usually try to watch the games I don't know anything about, especially in pools. I like the NetherRealm games, which I know some of the names, like the bigger names, but I don't know everyone. And like there are people in that scene, like Big D, who perform really well. You know, he doesn't have a team, so he's just like a guy, and he's playing like the Poison Ivy, which everyone was like, oh, she's terrible, and like he's doing well with her. So that was kind of cool. It was a cool little underdog story. So I watched a bunch of Injustice. And then what else did I watch? I didn't watch any Street Fighter, which is weird, but I'm not like I'm trying to branch into the weirder stuff. that like I don't see every year or year round even, because I'll put on Street Fighter if it's on. So I'll try to avoid that when it's like, oh well, I can watch this or I can watch Guilty Gear, which there's not as many high profile tournaments for this. And then like I don't know, I'll watch NetherRealm games because like, oh, this is unique, this is kind of cool. And then what else did I watch? I didn't watch Dragon Ball. I tried several times to put on Dragon Ball. I think I hate Hyper Fighters now. I'm not sure. I think with my time away from them, I'm like, I don't think we need this. I don't really care for this at all. I think it's really cool that it had like the biggest entrance in the event. They had like little, like at the finals, I watched some of the finals. Because Goichi Sonic Fox is a cool little, like rivalry, and I thought that was like a cool thing, so I wanted to watch that. But watching getting to that point, really boring. Because like it's such a like obscenely complicated game, and like I kind of that same way with Guilty Gear, where I really want to watch the best of the best play this game, because it's so much more interesting to watch like the just levels of mind games that are happening, and just the detail that they're going through in their head, and like the complexity of their characters, and like it's just crazy. Just like how much you need to like get through, and so like that's why it's kind of cool to watch a Hyper Fighter at that speed or that caliber, but it's like lower down, it's not as interesting. And really even in throughout top 8, I was like, I'm not really interested in this. I just kind of care about this one matchup. I want to see these two guys play, and then I'm done. And then what else did I watch? I watched some Tekken. And then I watched some of the stuff, best top 8 rather. And then I watched all of the Soul Calibur 6 exhibition, which was fucking dope. That was the hypest thing at the entire event. That was so fucking cool. I'm so excited for Soul Calibur 6. It'll be so cool. So into it. It's the small things, like making Kilik not himself. He's not the staff guy. Like he's been like in the last ones. He's the, what do they call him? Blade Master, Weapon Master, whatever his position is, where he's basically the random button. Like I'm so tired of that, and it's so weird. And like, don't do that. It's kind of annoying. I just want to play the character I want to play, and I know they like replaced him with. I do not really name the kid's name, but he's basically like a young Goku. He's a kid who likes to eat a lot. I think he has some kind of monkey aesthetic going on, and he uses staff. Like it's weird, which is weird too, because I like the Wukong character, but I could not care less. I'm like, I want my character who does my things. I haven't played in a while. I haven't done like anything with Soul Calibur in like a hot minute. So it was cool to see that, and then see how fast that game is getting, which is really cool, because it's always like, at least when the people I've played with, it's always been very slower and more I don't know, because it doesn't have like supers, it doesn't have like flashy things going on, and like having the Super Saiyan ability, and then whatever they call it, Soul something, where you kind of just like blow up, and like you can do it in like almost like one frame. It knocks the opponent away. You're kind of stronger for a minute. Like Kilik is awesome because he burns his health away, except for like the last like 1%. He keeps that. So like there were times where the guy who was playing Kilik, he would like be down to like 1%. He's like, fuck, he'd burn it anyway, try to kill him. Sometimes he would, sometimes he wouldn't, but it was like, what's he lose here, It's kind of cool. I like how that, for Kilik at least, he has another big move outside of that. And like the playstyles are so different, with like how Ivy was very defensive and very range based, but she has the ability to kind of change her distances if she wants based on her opponent. I think Astaroth was just announced, which was pretty cool. I mean, it just seems like it's going to be a fucking wonderful game. Like, it just seems so cool. I don't know. Supers being on one button, a very interesting change. We'll see how that like plays out overall. If people are like, this is bullshit. Why would you do this? This is so annoying. I don't know. But I'm very interested in the idea of like supers just being on a button. Just like your one super, you just hit R2 and you're doing a thing. Speaking of that, like I've noticed so much more rise in like pad players at Evo, especially like top players. I always say they're always using a controller. Like very, very, like it's almost like 50-50. It's kind of, I guess, because it's just like it's so much more prevalent. The controller's just in your house already. Yeah, it's like I remember back in the day where I would be watching Evo and go, wow, I beat that shit out of that person with a controller. It's so interesting. Not fight stick, like arcade stick or anything like that. Like, it's so interesting. Like, why would they do that? So it's such a weird thing for them to do. Like, I wonder how they got through this, because it just wasn't as, like, netcode wasn't that great and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people who were like, online warriors, probably had some kind of arcade nearby or something, something like that. And like, of course, you don't really know Asian players doing that because they do have the arcade scene over there. So it's interesting to see a lot. It's like becoming like, if you're Western, you don't like necessarily play with like the Western sticks like they used to. You play with a controller because that's just more prevalent. And I think there's also some Asian players that are starting to do that too. So it's interesting how it's just all going with that. But what else was there? Was there anything else from Evo? I guess, yeah, tons of stuff from Evo, actually. A lot of cool stuff. I did watch Melee, too. Melee's always fun. Leffen's a good guy. I'm glad he was like, I'm going to donate money to, was it 5th and 7th place? Because, like, it's bullshit, the payouts that you can do this well and, like, only get, like, $100. Like, it's kind of crazy. So he's like, splitting money with them. It was just a good showing. It was a lot of fun. Mango was a lot of fun to watch this year. Surprised he didn't do it well. He kind of fucked up at the end there, but he was doing well. Mewtwo King did super well. Armada getting knocked into losers, that was crazy. Having to fight through from like 13th place onward, that was nuts. To get second, I mean that's a pretty long fight. But yeah, great time, good time to watch. Unless, I guess before I get to that, Injustice Finals also very cool. The guy who won's like 18. He's like super young. He might even be younger than that. Yeah, Big D's playing like a lower tier character, probably Nivey, and he did super well. I think he got like 4th or something, or 4th or 5th, 7th. I don't know. He got something. He did well. He performed well. It was a really good event, and I'm surprised. It's weird. Injustice is weird because like I don't understand the defense options because there's so much chip damage. So like someone's just sitting there with a block up, and like they're just losing health like crazy. So like it was really cool to watch and just trying to figure out like, oh, it's a very different game. This is a very interesting thing, and like the theming of DC heroes as opposed to like Mortal Kombat characters, far more gripping to me. I'm just like, oh cool, this character's being played, and oh they play this one, this is an interesting thing. And I pull up like the tier list, I'm looking through, I'm like, well that's cool. So this character does this, and like seeing where everyone plays and how they do things, and like hearing the commentators say like, oh Sonic Fox like invented Black Manta, like that wasn't a playable character until Sonic Fox got his hands on it, and like now it's all over the place and like stuff like that. It's like interesting that there's like this other world that has this own thing. And like they have their own like tournament circuit that I've never even heard of, like all NetherRealm Studios games, they all have their own thing. Like, it's so fascinating, just like what is going on in that little realm and like how different that game plays. It's like one of the only like big prevalent like Western fighters. So fascinating. Like it's got its own thing, it's got its own feel, it's got its own style. It's very fascinating. Not everything is fucking wonderful and roses. So I did not watch Smash 4, but apparently, from what I've heard and read on the internet, Smash 4 has some problems with some Bayonetta players. Bayonetta, really good. And she was obviously like, I want to say she was at least like top 3 or something. Like the top 3 players all played her or something. But the top 2 were Bayonetta. People booing them throughout the tournament. And the one kid like stood up and like flipped off the crowd, which is like, hey, we're esports now. But like, I'm fucking super sick of people being like, hey, we gotta be esports now. Like, this is stupid. Don't do that. But like, also, no. Stop. It's obnoxious. Like, some of this shit's kind of fucked up. You fucked up in some way or whatever. So, like, it's rude for them to, like, be booing him. So if he's got to have their reaction... Also, that kid's, like, 16 or something. The guy who, like, won is, like, a child. So if he's going to have some stupid reaction... I don't know if he's sponsored. If he's sponsored, there's a problem, but whatever. I don't know if he is or not. I just know he's a child, and he's on this crazy big stage where people are booing him, and he's just going to have a child reaction. Although Armada is sponsored, and he had a crazy reaction when he got knocked down to losers by Swedish Delight, which was, I don't know if it's on Twitter anymore, but holy fuck was it insane. It was so crazy to read that someone was saying this in 2018. Like, I lost to this gay sheik, he's so retarded. It was crazy. I was like, I cannot believe you're allowed to say this. So it might have been deleted because Alliance might be like, bro, what the fuck? But it was pretty intense. Like, I'm never showing up to a tournament with that fucking asshole Sheik ever again. He's such a oh my god, it was crazy. Fucking went crazy. But I digress. It was but yeah. So with the Smash 4 thing, they have their little Bayonetta finals, and everyone's booing. So I think what ended up happening, I don't know the actual like turn of events, but I believe it was the one guy ended up SDing. So he, the one guy who ended up winning through a stock. Maybe he ended up losing. I forget. One guy's SD'd, the other guy threw stock away as in solidarity. Apparently not within the rules. I didn't know this. I do it all the time. I don't know. Like, it's just, I think it's kind of a nice thing, nice gesture. Like, oh, you messed up. Let me help you out here. I'll do this thing too. And I guess he ended up losing, resetting the bracket, causing more problems. a bunch of people end up leaving the stage, or leaving they leave the event. They're like walking out, so they just sit there for 3 minutes, just doing some charge up taunt thing or shooting each other. I don't know how Bayonetta works, but they just do a thing where they sit on the edge of the stage and they just distract. I think they end up trying to get the microphone and starting to say things, and whole hullabaloo for the very last event of Smash 4. And like a lot of people I know that watch Smash 4 were like, thank God this was not on Sunday, because this would have been horrible. This was a horrible look for Smash, and so it's better to have all the eyes on Melee, where it's clearly not a nightmare, to then do that. Because, yeah, it was just holy bejeebus. Not a good time. Not a good time with everything just being on fire with that game. But, I mean, I don't care to watch it. I think the game is boring. It's, like, weird and slow, and the mechanics are so backwards, and it's strange, and I don't understand. Like, I'd much rather play, like, even though, like, I've been playing a lot of Icons. I don't think I've talked about this on the show at all, but I've been playing a lot of Icons. The Project M people went and made Wave Dash Studios, and they made their own game. So, I've been playing their game, not a ton. I could probably tell you exactly how long I've been playing it on Steam right now. But, like, it's fun. It moves fast. It's, like, it's 11 hours, so I haven't played a ton. But, like, you know, it's baby's first, like, Project M. You know, like, there's not... You don't have to, like, wave dash to the ledge to get it. You can just walk off and then hit towards the stage again on your control stick, and you'll just snap to the ledge. And you can... And, like, the timing on that's, like, really tight, which it should be, because it's way too easy. So it's, like, very tight, but you can still, like, you know, ledge hog and all that kind of stuff. And wave landings there, and, like, people are claiming... Like, a lot of the Smash kids I play with are like, oh, it's, like, input delay, It's like, it feels like I'm playing on net play on Project M. It feels the exact same way. Maybe my internet just sucks. Maybe my computer just sucks. I don't know. It feels the exact same. It takes, like, 2 seconds to just get, like, caught up, and you're like, all right, everything makes sense. You know, hitboxes are kind of weird in some of the attacks, and like there's a little bit of like, I don't know what the split is with like what, you know, but it's fine. It's like not that bad. And like everyone's like, oh, play Slap City, and I watched like footage of Slap City last night, and that game looks horrific. Those animations are disgusting. So that, like, that looks like Brawl levels of like animations not making sense and being slow and janky. So I don't know what the fuck everyone's talking about, but apparently that game's amazing. Apparently Slap City's like way better. And I don't know if it's because the characters are so ridiculous and like they're so silly and fun, or if it's people actually think it's a good game because it looks really bad, and I'm like it doesn't look like a good game. I don't know. It looks horribly slow and clunky and awkward. So I don't know. I can't tell. Maybe I haven't got my hands on it. Like, I've only just literally yesterday watched footage of it, because everyone keeps telling me, oh, but Slap City is so much better, and like it looks atrocious. So I don't know. Hard to say without actually playing it. But what was I saying? Why did I go on that tangent? I don't remember. Something about Smash 4. I don't enjoy it. I don't stick around with it. You know, it's whatever. It's too slow and weird, and oh yeah, the mechanics are so janky and weird. So it's odd. I don't know. I don't really get it. But what was I saying? Where are they going to go for this? Oh, but good news in Smash is they announced at the, I believe it was Melee, I think, even though it'd make more sense if it was Project M, or Project M. It would make more sense if it was Smash 4's event, but I think it was Melee because that has more eyes on it. I don't really know. I don't remember. I saw it on screen, so it probably was Melee because I didn't watch Smash 4, but they are going to have a Smash Direct on Wednesday, so that was a couple days from now, or a couple days ago. And so they had that, and they were like, oh, we're going to announce, announcements or whatever. And speculation was like, oh, they're going to maybe talk about subspace emissary, like that kind of announcement. They're going to have this type of thing, or something like that. Like, it's crazy. There's no way they could have more characters. That'd be so silly. That'd be so crazy. How could they do that? Like, that'd be nuts. So, like, what could they do? What could be happening? And then, it drops, and I'm like the day before, I'm sitting around with a friend of mine who, Ryan, he's been on the show before, and he's like a big Castlevania fan. I'm like, oh, you know, it'd be really cool. I'm trying to play the old Castlevania games, wicked hard. He's like, oh, you should play 4 and you should do this and that, because these games have like remade the first one, might be a little bit easier to like understand, like get your feet wet and like start it and then go back maybe, for like that extra challenge. But I'm like, it's such a cool mechanic, such a cool game. What a cool idea, and have like a whip to kill a vampire. Like, so that's so cool. Vampire Killer is such a cool name for a weapon. What a cool game. Like, I would it'd be really cool to finally see that representation in Smash, because it's like, if you look at like the big NES titles, you got Zelda, Mario, Metroid, whatever have you, and then you have Castlevania. It's like, oh fuck, it'd be really cool to have Castlevania. So there's a cool thing to have as well. So have Simon in that game, and then fucking lo and behold, they fucking announced Simon. He looks fucking awesome. And seconds later, they announced Richter. It's like, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy. You get 2 of these characters, and it looks so awesome. They look so much fun. And, like, they're kind of really unique and kind of cool. And, like, he has, like, that weird wonky jump. It's going to be fascinating. I'm definitely, like, way more interested. I've been always kind of semi-interested in Smash Ultimate because it seems a little bit faster than Smash 4. Has a couple less strong defensive options. Like, they seem to have learned but want to keep it in that, like, more of a casual space. Not, no wave dashing and that crazy stuff. But they're still like, kind of balancing out what is there. So I think it's kind of cool. I'm kind of interested in seeing like what happens with Smash Ultimate, and then they have more things coming out with all this music stuff. For some reason, you can use this as an iPod. That was weird, but you can make like playlists and just listen to your Switch while it's in your bag or something. It was weird. They had all sorts of cool shit going on. The stage for Castlevania is cool. They have Death Scythe as an item, which I don't ever really play with items, but that's adorable. It's so cute. I mean, like, Ness walk around with the fucking Grim Reaper Scythe. And they wrap it up with announcing King K. Rool. Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell is this game? And I'm wondering if there's going to be, like, one more reveal, because when they showed the menu, for some reason that was, like, a big part of this event, or this press conference. They're like, we're going to show off the menu. But I think that was because they had a one section blurred out. And on like the menu and whatever that sidebar was, that thing blurred out. So I wonder if there's gonna be one more direct to announce what those are and be like, hey, there's this thing we didn't show you, which might be this Subspace Emissary. I saw someone joking on Twitter that it was gonna be Skyrim, but like it could be something cool. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then when they showed the character select screen, there were what stopped it from being a perfect rectangle was 2 squares. And that included Simon and Richter. And then they announced King K. Rool. So I wonder if they're going to add another one, if that last spot will be like random. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. I'm hoping we get something pretty soon. A little bit more information. That comes out, is it December? I think it's December. But then there are people speculating that it'll be, if there is a Subspace Emissary mode, it'll be delayed, because I guess that's what happened with Brawl. So that might be a little thing. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I'm very interested in what Smash Ultimate's going to be. And like I attempted to play Smash 4 like semi-competitively when it first came out, but I got the fact that the DS version and the Wii U version were so similar. They were different games, because like when the DS one came out, like Bowser was the best character in the game, and like he did crazy shit, and like he was still kind of good in the Wii U version, but they started to fix some things, and like DI was not in the game, it was vectoring or something. It was such a strange game when it first came out. It was so different, and then it kind of became a little what it is today. So over time, so it was harder to like keep up when I was actually playing like Project M, like quote unquote full time. So it was hard to like if I just learn this game kind of right now, I can do okay in tournaments and just not really have to like play a ton. I'm not looking to win, but like I can just keep up and enjoy the scene or whatever. But it changed so much that it kind of got weird. There was always controversy and stuff, much like the Bayonetta thing, which I've heard people being like, why didn't you just ban her? Like, why was she allowed to be played in Evo? It's like, well, then these people who like practice with her forever don't have a character. Like, what are you talking about? She had to be banned immediately when she came out, or not at all, and they chose not at all. Like that Meta Knight was banned like way too late, and it caused a huge controversy. Players quit Brawl because they're like, oh, all these hours I put into Meta Knight are no longer usable. Great, fuck this game. I'm not playing this. So you cannot do that. Like, especially this late in the game. So I don't know why people just don't seem to think about that type of thing. Where it's like, oh, just ban the character. If people don't like it, just get rid of it. It's like, that's not how this works. So who knows what's going to happen with Smash Ultimate? I'm going to imagine the powers that be will take a much clearer look at every character and make a final decision almost immediately. Like, okay, Bayonetta's still the same character, but better or worse or whatever. We're going to ban her now. Just ban her at the start of Smash Ultimate and just move on. No, just be safe. Don't be crazy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Or maybe just because everyone else is faster and a little bit better, she'll just kind of be balanced out with everyone else being fast. Who knows? What else is there? I guess in terms of video... Oh, you know what's also... Here we go. Here's another segue. They announced Rathalos in Smash Ultimate as a boss and assist trophy, I think is what they called it, which is strange. So that's cool. There's a Monster Hunter stage, so maybe we get a hunter. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. We'll see. But leading into that, the Monster Hunter Behemoth event has started. Or maybe it started last week, but I don't know. I started playing it. And good googly moogly is it's so hard. It is so brutal. Like, it's insanity how fucking hard this thing is. I don't understand. And like, what I'm thinking is the case, so I'm trying to do the special assignment. I've heard the optional quest is easier, and that's how you get geared up to do the special assignment. I don't know. It's fucking brutal. It is so unforgivingly difficult. It's insane. There have been times where I have, like, he does a thing where he'll, like, grab you, he'll cause the bleed effect, thrash around and throw you. And then usually, I don't know for sure, but it seems every time I've done that, I have his threat. And that's the cool thing about the fight, is it's an MMO fight. So they took an MMO boss and they put him into a different game, which is like a pseudo MMO, but it's... Monster Hunter World has been, up until this point, and I think with the tempered arc dragons, this has changed. But up until this point, they have been Zerg fights. You just take whatever weapon you want, you run at it with whoever the fucks, and you kill the thing. And that's it. That's all you do. And then you can pretty much do it solo for everything. And I don't know about the arc tempered, if they have enmity as well, their threat gauge. But with Behemoth, because I haven't fought any of them yet, but Behemoth, you need, what do you call it? You need 4, because he will throw away attacks at random, of the random 4. So like when I was trying to solo it, what got annoying was he would start his little tornado attack. I keep hitting this. He would start his little tornado attack, but it's always going to me, and so I was trying to I was trying to think like an MMO player as I am. So I was like, oh, I'll just dump these away from where the fight's going to take place and not worry about it. And like that is a viable strategy to some extent. Just dump them away from where the battle's taking place and just let them sit there and not affect anything. But you can flash him and then he'll stop casting it, which is really helpful. But you only can do really 3 flashes. But you can now I'm starting to make them in the field, which is cool because that's apparently an old school Monster Hunter thing where you would bring like materials for a final piece of item so that you can you carry whatever. You can carry 3 flash pods, but you carry 10 additional flash bugs on you so you can make 9 more flash pods while on the field. Because I was watching, I had some like really good party where this was like this Japanese player. I'm like, how does he keep having flash pods? This guy has so many. Is there a weird way that I'm not aware of that you can make multiple stacks? I'm like, oh wait, no, he's just making them on the field because it's only one item that you have to carry with you. So it's just going to eat up another slot. So he was just making them on the field as he went. He would run out and make more, run out and make more. And like he just kept doing that. And it's because what I kept doing was like every phase I would return back to base, restock, and then go back. And like I'm just bleeding like items right now. It is so unbelievably hard. I've played for like 2 days straight and I haven't fucking even killed one thing because I've been just grinding this behemoth. But you need like 4 people because at the bare minimum, he'll cast like meteor on someone else that's not you, and then you can kind of get a little bit of damage in and do stuff like that. So that's nice. But he is fucking hard. He is so hard. And he has like a kill all move where like he has like an MMO thing. He has an attack that drops a physical item, and then you have to run behind the physical item so that you can survive the ecliptic meteor, or whatever it's called. And then that will, if you're not behind a thing, or you use the jump emote that the game gives you, which is a cute touch. So if you do it at the right time, your jump emote, you go up in the air, and then the thing comes down, and you come down, and you survive the attack. So you like a Final Fantasy game, avoid a move with a jump, which is cute. Or you just get behind the comet that he dropped, and the thing goes off, and he moves on to the next phase. But if you don't, you die, and you only get 3 deaths, and it's really hard. He's so unbelievably difficult that I've never even seen time pop, and he has a shorter time than other bosses. He's only got 35 minutes. Most fights are 50. And he is so brutal that I've never even seen 10 minutes left or anything like that. I've never seen any time pop up. He's so hard. But the armor is so cool and fucking phenomenal. I don't know for sure. I want to get it all and then play with what I have in terms of decorations and figure out what it is, but it seems like if you could go the full Dragoon set from Final Fantasy XIV, the original class set, the one that you'd see on the box and all that shit, that looks very sick. The one, what is that character's name? He was the other Dragoon that was all throughout. Sinian, I think is what his name was. I think it was an E, something like that. But he was the guy who was like, he was the Dragoon that you fought with during Heaven's Word. His armor, that set he was wearing, but not, I mean, obviously you can dye it red if you wanted. Although that happened after the blood or whatever. But, you know, it looks like that armor set. And you can wear that, and then you get the Gabolg which is the first Dragoon legendary weapon. You can get that as a weapon. You can upgrade to the true version of it. And I want to like start learning Insect Glaive. I've kind of been wanting to because it seems like it's a similar mindset of like hyper aggression, but with a different objective of mounting and knocking the monster over, as well as just being a little bit more mobile. So I've been wanting to learn it a little bit more, but I just kind of stopped playing the game for a little while, and now I'm coming back. So it's cool that there's a really good weapon that also kind of goes with it. So I'm like, oh, let me get this weapon, get the armor, you know, redo a thing, build this setup, and do a cool thing with that. So I want to try to work in that way, and like maybe go through it and attempt that, do cool shit with the Insect Glaive. It looks so cool when you're doing it well, and like playing with a good Insect Glaive player. Like there's one guy I was playing with, and he was just on the Behemoth constantly. I'm like, how is he doing this? And he would never fall off. Like, this guy's amazing. He knows his fucking class. Because you play with some Insect Glaive players, they never land on him. And I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure that's your main mechanic. You want to, like, mount the monster and try to knock them down. I think that's what you're supposed to do. And, like, sometimes they never do it. I don't know if it's harder to, like, I'm not sure what the mechanic is to land on them. Like, as a dual blade player, I never land on monsters because you can't while you're in demon mode. So, like, I understand that, like, oh, I never do because every time I do a thing where I'm in the air, I'm trying to, you know, grind down their spine, which you can get a ton of damage done on the Behemoth. He's so big. So, like, you can just grind straight down his body and do, like, probably over 1,000 damage. Like, the blue blade hits low, but you hit... I wish I could, like, count each hit, but it's insanity. It's so fast and it's so many. And you just fuck him right up. It's awesome. But he is fucking brutal. He is so hard. I don't understand why he's so hard. And like, it's sometimes like I'm doing really well, I'm playing awesome, I'm fucking feeling it, and then like some party member dies. Or like when I've had the other day, someone was trolling. He wasn't even playing. He was just like running circles around the arena. I'm like, are you using abilities? And he wasn't. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. He's like not playing. Like, what is happening? And so I had to like kick him, and then we ended up losing. I was like, well, this sucks. Like, why are we playing this if we're down a fourth person? Like, you can't get in. That's the sucky thing about Monster Hunter is like, if you kick someone for like doing that where they're not playing, they're just running around the arena and like actually not doing anything, or because every time you add a player, it increases their health, and I think their damage. It might just be their health. I forget, but it definitely increases their health, which makes it harder. But that's why you have 4 people, so you have 4 sources of damage to negate that buff. So if you add people and someone leaves, it sucks. And I had a really close attempt where we had a really good longsword player. It was really awesome. And like we were doing super well. And like we actually had 2 longswords. And so like it was very easy to like cut his tail and break his horns. Because like they're very like, they hit very hard and they do this one like very weird jumping attack. But it like causes like an insane amount of damage. So it's very common that if you have at least 1 longsword player, let alone 2, you're going to be breaking everything on that monster. So like, I was like, oh, cool, we'll have everything broken. We at least get something out of this. We win or lose. But right at the last phase, the 4th one, he disconnected or something. I was like, fuck. That was the guy. That was our chance. So, that sucks. Like, he was way better than everyone else. And like, I think if I remember correctly, that guy was like Hunter rank 500 or something. It was crazy. People are still playing the game so intensely. I've also seen like a really good, like, as like with the, I was saying, like, it's got like MMO mechanics with like the threat. It's very encouraged that you have someone with a shield, so I've never seen a sword and shield guy do well with this. I've never seen him like really interact or doing it. Maybe they're also very good, but I'm not sure. But lance, gun lance, and even heavy bowgun. I'm not sure what the fuck a heavy bowgun does, because I always thought they were just kind of like range damage, but I watched this guy just kite the guy around in a circle and avoid 100% of damage. And then like he failed like twice, and then I think someone else, maybe it was me, I don't remember, someone else died, we lost. Or maybe that was one of the ones where we got a person and they left or something, I don't know. It happened. I've been playing this fight so much that everything's a blur at this point, but it was weird. He would like shoot at a bunch, he'd get the threat, and when you have the threat, he turns red. And then he would just run around, and like he would cast Meteor, which is like, you know, it's a an AoE attack right at your feet of whoever you are, as of where you're standing. And somehow he would just keep walking. He would just not take damage. And like, I'm not sure if there's like a backstep attack or something, or like the heavy bowgun also has like a shield attached to it, like with on the front of the gun. I'm not sure what it does. I've never used it. And you rarely see it. You see a lot of light bowgun people because it's a little bit more fast. But this guy was like tanking with a heavy bowgun. So I'm like, heavy bowguns are amazing. But I've never seen anyone do it since. I've like tried, because every once in a while, like I'll like look at the quest board, and I'll go to the SOS first, and I'll try to find people with a good weapon that might like help the fight. So, you know, a sword and shield, or lance, or gun lance, something like that, some kind of shield thing. Or an insect glaive, because insect glaives are amazing in this fight, because you can avoid a lot of the AoE, and you can land on him and do all that kind of stuff. So, you know, good weapons for it. I'm not using a good weapon for it, so I should switch, but I don't have any upgraded weapons that are good, and it's a hassle. But watching, but I've never seen, I will do like heavy bowgun people after watching that dude kill it with a heavy bowgun, and I've never seen anyone do it again, so I'm not sure what he was doing. I'm not very certain. And like, there's other stuff too, I'm not sure what it is. Like, there was something that someone was doing where, like, they were healing me as if I was drinking a potion while I was on my back. And like, they would do it to other people. And like, I don't, like, everyone, it's almost like a life powder, but like a ton of them or something, or like I don't know. It was like the heal over time from when you drink a potion, but from some powder. I don't know what it was. I can't find it. I went through the crafting list, but I don't see what the hell they were using. I don't know what this is. So I'm not sure, like, everything that's out there, of like, maybe there's a huge new mechanic that I'm just not aware of, or never had to learn because the game was easy until now. I don't know, but it's intense. It's so hard. It's so hard. It's a brutal, brutal fight. And I was going to record yesterday, but I was like, let me beat this thing so I can at least say like what the beating is like. I've only gotten to the fourth phase like 3 times. Like the last phase, like maybe 3 times. It is so hard. And like, he doesn't go to sleep, which is obviously very difficult. You can't place bombs. I don't even know why I carry bombs on me. Well, occasionally, some people will bring sleep weapons, and then we'll use them there, but like, it's so hard. It is such a hard game. He is such a hard boss. I don't understand why he's so difficult. He's so hard. But hopefully, I'm going to get... Apparently, the optional quest version is easier, and that's where you should gear up, and then go to the special assignment. Apparently, they're adding Behemoth Extreme. I can't even fathom what that looks like. It's so fucking crazy to me, but whatever. I'm going to try to learn a better weapon in the meantime until I get to that point, but I'm in love with this. It is so much fun. I'm having so much fun just going back to Monster Hunter. Maybe I'll start some of the other stuff, but yeah, I want to try to learn the insect glaive. I think it'll be really cool to have. What else is there? What else? That game is amazing. Give it a shot. Oh, actually, it makes me want to play Final Fantasy 14 again, and like, because like, they use the music from all the things, and like, they have the like, I don't know what the song is, but it's like dun, 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 dun. It's fucking sick. I don't know what it is, but it's like the 3rd and 4th phase use it, and I think it's the boss theme or something. I'm not sure. It plays during bosses, but I'm not sure which specific bosses. It may have just been the vanilla content. I'm not sure. Because I want to say Heaven's Ward had its own theme, and I haven't played like any Stormblood, which sucks because I enjoy it. I enjoy the top of that game, but I hate the leveling, and that's the part that sucks. But World of Warcraft expansion comes out in like 2 days. I think it comes out the 14th, the 13th, something like that. And it's 11th right now, so it's coming out very soon. So it's like, well, I'm gonna play that because like that is the thing I'm gonna put a lot more time in that. I got a guild. I got the so it should be fun working on that, doing that, playing with that, just doing that. The whole battle for Lordaeron happened. Did not end the way I thought it would, so that was pretty cool. I love Sylvanas. I love her. She's so cool. She does so many cool things. She's dope. I didn't agree with the War of Thorns decision, but let her do her thing. I don't understand. She's crazy. And then the way she handled the cutscene before the end at the end of the Lordaeron thing was so cool. She's just like, she walks up to the Boy King, talks a lot of shit, banshees out of there, and fucking nukes the place. It's like, fuck you. No one wins this one. Like, it was almost like she wanted them to feel false hope. Like, she was like, let me just sacrifice troops so you think you're winning, but actually you're fucking gonna lose harder than you've ever thought. Which is cool, because it keeps the like, above, basically like above wetlands, just like fucking unusable territory, just zombies forever, just absolute death, going from like above, or no, I guess it's the the hinterlands and Arathi. No, not Arathi Basin. That's the Arathi foothills, right? Is that what it's called? That's weird. I have not like forgotten what this thing is called in a long time. No, Hillsbred foothills. That's what it's called. I don't remember. The place like with the fucking where Alterac Valley's like little spawn thing is, and Arathi Basin is over there. That kind of thing. That little area. That's like the last of like there's that like little area of like ocean. It's like you don't want to, like once you cross that, it's all death. It's all death from above. Just everything's horrible. I like that idea, except for oddly where the Eversong Woods, which is still fucking fucked up with a big scar down the middle of it, but that's like the one place that's not completely overrun by zombies. Delightful. I'm very excited for BFA. It should be a lot of fun. What else did I have written here? Movies. I saw 8th grade. I did. I saw it with my papers. It was good. It was really, really good. If you get a chance to see it, I recommend it. It's very like, I don't know how to put it. It felt very real, where it's like I don't know, like it was like weirdly modern, but also like forever, if that makes sense. Like it was, she had a phone. She posts on his DM'd each other on Instagram, had a YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff. But like the weird awkwardness and like the way she like would handle things, like being in some of the situations, I'm like, yep, that was me in 8th grade. I did the same thing. I was that kid. It was weird. And like I know that's what his kind of whole thing was, and his whole point, Bo Burnham. It was great. It was really, really good. Very cute. A lot of like cringy, like, oh Jesus Christ, stop. Don't do this. You'll regret this. You'll wake up at 2:35 in the morning and go, fuck, why did I do that when you're fucking 24? Yeah, but very good. Very, very good. And the cool thing was he did a free ageless showing in every city, every major city in every state. Or no, every state had one major city with one theater that had an ageless free showing. Because he was like, I don't like that this is an R rating, because like it's just a couple of fucks. And apparently in the MPAA board, one of them was like LMFAO was used at one point, so that like added to the R rating or something. It was very silly. But because they had a couple of fucks in it, they wanted to move to R, and he's like, I think anyone who's been in 8th grade or should see this movie. And like I'm fascinated too, because like there were so many kids in these like little pictures of like that he would like retweet or whatever, or he was on Instagram, but whatever. Whatever restorying something it's called. There's a lot of kids that were like about that age group, and I always thought that like Bo Burnham was more like my age group, because he hasn't really been making videos, so I'm not sure how these kids find him. Like he's been doing comedy for a lot, and he's been doing the movie, and he had a TV show, but he hasn't really been like on YouTube, which I know is a very popular like thing for kids. Now that's like their media that they primarily ingest. So I'm fascinated that like he's still like speaking to kids this many years later, even though he hasn't put out a new video or a new song in so long. It's fascinating. I don't know, like, I mean, I guess he's just, I don't know, like he's a couple years older than me. I think he's like 29 or something. Or maybe he's like 20, I forget. He's like slightly older than me. So he's about my age. Like I know he was in, like he would do those high school songs like when I was like in middle school. So like we're just a few years apart. Which makes me feel like a piece of shit for have done nothing in my life. But so like I'm surprised that like he's still reaching out to kids and still speaking to people. So good for him. The movie's fantastic. I don't really want to say much about it because it's really just a slice of life. It's not like if I just talk about what happened, like the only way I can explain like why it's good is by talking about what happens, and by talking about what happens, I'm just spoiling the movie, because like it's very much just like, here's this girl's last few weeks of 8th grade. Like that's what it's about. Like it's interesting. It's a very good movie. I loved it. I really did. I really, really enjoyed it. So I recommend it if you get a chance. I guess I'll just talk about one other thing. I want to kind of keep this short, because I got B places. But it would be, so I'm trying to read mangas. I'm trying to read them all. I love it. I love the manga. But I was going to read Dragon Ball, because like everyone's so excited about Dragon Ball. Constantly now. Especially like now. Everyone's so hyped for it. And I'm like, well, I watched as a kid. Let me try to get another perspective and read it, because apparently the manga is also fantastic. So I'm attempting to read it, try to find it. First of all, it's impossible to find. been taken away from the internet. It's like gone. I don't know what the fuck happened. I guess someone was like, no, stop this. So I'm like, all right, fuck me. Let me go look for what I can find. And I'm going around. I'm trying to find these different sources. I'm trying to put on my phone, because I have this little app for manga reading. I'm putting on my phone. And then as I'm trying to do that, I'm finding that some chapters aren't downloading. So I go and I look, all right, do I have to like, because the websites that I use for it, I go over and they have like an automated not bot thing, because I guess this happens a lot with bots or something. I don't know why that would affect manga readers at all, but it does apparently. If you have bots, you want to have someone there to make sure you can verify you're not a bot while you're downloading. I'm not sure what it is, but apparently reading manga as a robot is a bad thing. That's why like Botato like went down, or whatever that website was called. He was like, fuck bots. And that's why he like made the thing where you had to have an account and all that shit. So like, I'm going through, I'm trying to find it. I'm like, okay, let me see if this, it doesn't, I don't know why this isn't downloading. This is being weird. And then also, this scan is atrocious, because like there's a spot like around the cell saga. It's just absolutely disgusting. It's like horribly, horribly done. And then I'm like, all right, let me see if I can find at least the cell saga and like not shit. It's just not possible. It's just so much garbage forever. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's so famous and it's so popular. Why is there not a better scan out there? I don't understand. Like even like a weird CD under illegal one that doesn't exist. We went on the Pirate Bay and there are people like, could you at least put in the description that like these chapters are shitty fan subs, because these are horrible. These aren't the Viz Media official ones. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this so hard to find? Someone like, do I buy the manga? Like, I don't have the money right now. Maybe in the future I buy the manga. Who knows? It's been a nightmare. I don't understand why it's so hard to find. So while I can't read Dragon Ball, and I can't get into that, I might just rewatch the show at this rate because it's so much easier. I was like, oh, okay, I will try some other stuff I have on my phone. I have like Grand Blue, which I've been meaning to read. I think it got an anime. It's about to get an anime, something like that. Whatever. I was like, oh, I'll try Grand Blue. That'll be fun. But I was like, you know what? No, you know what I should do? It's a little bit, it's finished. It's a little bit longer. It's like 80. Well, Grand Blue's like 40 something right now. But Grand Blue's actively coming out. It's finished. It's kind of short. We'll just burn through Fire Punch. No pun intended. So I'm about a fourth of the way through Fire Punch, and I cannot tell you what the fuck it is about. It is so weird and so strange, and like it's weird too because I can't find information. There's no like Wikipedia page for it. There's no like the only Wikipedia page I found for it was a French one, and the French one that I found said it came out of Shonen Jump Plus, of which I cannot find evidence outside of Japanese that's a thing that exists, and so I can't figure out what is going on, and it's so confusing, and like I don't think this can count as shonen because it's very gross and like weirdly violent, and there's so much like rape happening, and there's just a lot of murder, and like it's so weird, and like there's this weird girl who's like, I'm gonna make a movie because movies are gone now because it's years and years after the world has gone on and like things are dead or something. I don't know. It was so weird. It's so weird. And like she's like a lethal killer, and like the regen power seems to be like the strongest one you can have. Except for this ice power that apparently ended the world. I don't know. It's so weird. And like this kid, it's basically like a kid and his sister. That's how it opens. A kid and his sister they have regeneration powers. His is stronger than hers, so he is feeding a village by cutting off his arm like once a day, or like multiple times a day, and handing that out to people in the village. So they eat him for meat. That's where we're starting. I read like one chapter, and I'm like, this is gross. Okay. He then, a bunch of these like terrorist people or something, I don't know, they're the government, I don't know, show up, and they're like, we're just gonna, this village is full of cannibals, destroy it. Because they were going to save them and bring them back to this big city. But this big city is a nightmare anyway, as they've gone through. We've found the city, and like they've gone into it a little bit. It's a fucking horrible place. So like, okay, destroy the city. So this one guy has like a big fire power, and he just burns everything to the ground. And his power is, the fire burns until it turns to ash. But the boy's regeneration powers are so strong that he never stops burning. So he spends like 8 years in agony, finally has the ability to stand up and like, I'm gonna go fucking murder that dude. And that's like the end of chapter 1 or 2 or something. Like that's the beginning. It's so crazy. His sister like burns in front of his eyes, and he's like fucking horribly traumatized by this. It's so crazy. I don't understand. And then he finds like this little kid who's like an absolute idiot, who's really funny and very enjoyable. He keeps calling a dog a bear. Like, he's very stupid, but I very much enjoy this child named San, or San, I guess. And like, but he looks like a girl. And so like he gets like kidnapped with another girl because they think he's a girl. And he gets sent to this place in the major city that they were going to go to. And they're like, okay, you're going to have to work here or die. And like, okay, I don't really want to work here, but if we escape, we'll also die. Who knows? We'll try to figure it out as we go. Like, they're trying to make a plan. And like his power, the San, his power is like electricity, so he can like shoot a little electricity, but he calls it bzz bzz because he's a fucking dumb child. Like, he's actually fucking stupid as hell. I don't understand. He's so dumb. Oh my god, it's so weird. But like, yeah, so the guy's like, okay, hey, do you like dogs? We're not allowed to have dogs because they're food. Like, a guy from the city comes in, and he's like, I'm gonna, like, he's like trying to be like friendly with them, and or whatever. You know, and they're like, oh, I don't want to do anything. Any job we're gonna have is gonna be horrible. And he's like, no, I'll be fine. These are my dogs. I love my dogs. You love dogs too? Cool. You know, dogs aren't allowed here, so we use them for food, but we're gonna have dogs. So now, you're gonna have sex with these dogs. They're all male dogs. You're females, so you're gonna have sex with these dogs. I'm gonna watch. And that's gonna be your job. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And of course, San is like, what is sex? What do I do? And he immediately takes his pants off and he like bends over. He's like, I'm ready or whatever. And like, wait, you're a guy? And then that whole like reveals the whole thing. It's so crazy. And then they try to escape. And then as they're escaping, I don't know what happened to San. I don't remember. There's so much happening. I'm only like maybe 20 chapters in. It's so, and there's only 83. I don't understand. There's so many. So much happening. I'm so confused. And like what they do is they capture Agni, who's the main character, and they're like, oh, he's a regenerator. The only way we can slow his regeneration because it's so fast is have someone stand over him with a gun and shoot him in the head like every few minutes, or even a few seconds. I don't know. They didn't really explain the amount of time they need to take, but keep putting a bullet in his head every few minutes so he's just ahead. And we're gonna wrap him in flame-proof cloth, which is like a bad. It's like not the stuff we have today. It was like someone found the formula for it and made what they could, so it's not as powerful as like flame retardant stuff now. It's like a worse version of that or something. They make a point to point that out. I don't really remember what the detailing was of that. So he's just a head wrapped in cloth in a box, and then they cut to this girl who's like, I love movies. I would rather kill myself than not have movies. Movies are cool. They're like, well, have a camera. Go make your own movie. I don't know who those people were, but they're like, here you go. And she's like, all right. And she like, at one point she's aware of Agni because like they found footage of him walking through the snow. And she's like, that guy's my main character. She was on a fucking murder spree to go free him from this train. So she just murders people down this train. They actually have one really good joke where like, she's like, so yeah, I'm leaving another thing out. She saves the girl who was with San, who's about to have sex with a dog. She saves her somehow. Or maybe she was kidnapped, put on the train to be, and she was going to get, that's right, she was kidnapped, put on the train, so the guys that were on the train who were going to dump Agni's head in the ocean so he couldn't regenerate or regenerate slower, so that that's was the purpose of it. So then they were going to rape her on the train, and this girl shows up with the camera, and she goes, oh, rape her so I can film this, I want this scene in my movie. And she's like, no, fucking don't, I would like to not be raped, please. And she's like, all right, sounds good, and straight up murders like 18 dudes everyone on this train has regeneration powers. Apparently that's like a dime a dozen, but it's very powerful. So that she just murders everyone. And then she's like, hey, she has the camera in her hand the whole time filming herself. She goes, all these shots suck while I murder these people. She moved, 8 people. These sucked. Hey, you, be my camera person, and then make sure you film me doing everything. And then like some big final boss guy shows up, and she makes some comment of like, oh, you know what, this is gonna suck, don't film this. And then she's like, cut here. And then they actually cut. They have like a pure thing of black, like a black panel. And they go down to the next panel. And it's just like the whole train is blown, like destroyed. This guy has no head. He's stabbed. He's like slowly like dying. And she's like, man, that was just like the last fight of some kind of shonen. Or so. She's like some comment like that. Or like, this would be like the last fight of an actual thing. But, we're so early on in the movie. We don't need to have this. Did you not film that? She goes, no, damn it. We should have had that footage. Like, it's so weird. It's such a weird series. I don't understand who this is for. What is happening? There's so many characters. Like, several times I was like, is Agni not the protagonist anymore? Like, are we just done with him? Like, did they actually when they had like 3 dudes standing over him with guns, shooting him in the head, and like, throw him in a box. I'm like, is it done? Like, he's on the cover, but is he done? Are we done with this character? Are we moving on to like this girl and son and the film girl? What is happening? I'm so confused. They eventually get Agni back, but like, anything, like, it goes at a pace that, like, I don't know who the protagonist is for sure, and I don't know who's a good person. I don't know what's going on. Everyone seems like dog shit people. It's so weird. And like, the guy who lit his house or his whole village on fire and caused him to burn eternally almost re-killed him but couldn't or something, and is feeling some kind of PTSD or like guilt about what he's done in the past. And he's got this huge beard and long hair, and he wears like a trench coat, and he's like trying not to be. So he might be a good guy. I don't know. It's so confusing. For like something I was like, oh, he's on fire forever. The big bad is an ice witch. That's what the final confrontation will be. It's been a little gross so far, but it is an apocalypse story, so like, you know, these things happen. Nope, it could not. I don't even know if this fucking ice witch is gonna actually play a part in this. There's so much more happening. And it's so short. It's only 83 chapters. What is happening? It is so weird. I don't understand. If you have a chance and you can find it, that's the other thing too. It's like very weird. I found it online. I'm reading on my phone. But like, and I want to get the physical. Apparently there's one, I think there's one Tokobon that says thing. I don't even know the information. I don't know how many volumes this thing has been released as, or if it's just one. I don't know where you find it, because I doubt it's being sold in stores, because it's gross. Unless it's like Berserk and they sell it in plastic, which is weird. I mean, it's not weird, because the first page of the first chapter is Gus having sex with a woman, and then she turns into a demon and he blows her head off. So, like, it makes sense that wouldn't be covered in plastic, but so should this one. And, like, it started off poorly drawn, and it's, like, slowly improving, too. It's whack as fuck. And the thing is, too, is I've always heard about it. Like, John has been on the show, and he's talked about it, and he said, I should read it. And then I remember being on A, and people being like, oh, are you guys caught up? Like, as it was finishing up, because it only finished, like, maybe, I don't know, a year ago, 6 months ago. It recently wrapped up. People be on A going, oh, are you guys caught up in the greatest manga ever written? The new chapter's about to come out. And I was like, I don't know anything about this. Like, I know John has talked about it, and he's a fan. But, like, it is going places. And, like, it's just interesting. It's interesting to read something that's, like, not what I think, like, anime and manga are. Like, it is not that. It is just it's so different. It's such a different thing. And it is going places and doing things that I'm not familiar with seeing. And it's kind of cool. I don't know. Big fan of like how it's just off the wall insane. Just this crazy wild time. So, I don't know. I recommend it. It's just bananas. It's bonkers. It's just bonkers. I think it's everything. I did that yesterday. I was just like, had some free time. Read a bunch of it. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like reading in public too. I'm like, should I read this in public? Should I stop? Like, this is crazy. There's some weird shit going on here. Like, if anyone just looks down at the page, they're like, what are you reading? Like, what is happening? So I don't know. Or the screen, I guess. Yeah, I think that's everything. That's all I want to talk about. We'll see what's going on. We'll see what's popping. We'll see what's popping in the future. I gotta go house sit, so I'll be away, but free to just watch all of the Kamen Rider, all of the Power Rangers, play a bunch of Monster Hunter. So I'll step away from my computer for a couple of days, which is always good. I'm actually really enjoying the chances I get to like not have my computer there, because I always just get trapped in like YouTube. Just watch a bunch of YouTube. I'm like, oh shit, it just wastes like 2 hours. Fuck me. Octopath Traveler, fantastic. But I want to get a little further into it before I speak about more, because I'm about like halfway through, I think. I would say. I don't know. I think I could probably check. It's right over there, but I'm like 25 hours in, 30 hours in, or something like that. Starting to find like people's second outfits or second jobs. I'm starting to unlock those and finish up people's stories. I think I have 4 jobs unlocked, so probably 4 stories finished in chapter 2, so I'm probably close to like halfway of like everyone halfway through chapter 2, everyone's chapter 2, and like everyone's chapter 4 is the end, so I'm about halfway, I think. But it's very good, very fun. I understand the job thing now, so it makes way more sense. It's very cool. I'm actually a big fan. I think that's everything though. I think so. So I hope you enjoy. Ibernac on Twitter. And yourbrainontom@gmail.com for anything. Other than that, 11 kisses.